Hello my dear friends, you're on the Military Summary channel, and this short video we're going to discuss the most important events that took place during the previous night of the local time. First we're going to talk about the Bradley Square, the battle for the settlements like Rabotina, Novoprokopovka and Verbova. Today we had a lot of very interesting geolocations, so let's start. The Ukrainians continue sending more and more forces to the south. They are using the tactic of a small platoons, 5-ton soldiers. Currently, the Ukrainians stopped redeploying of the armored vehicles. They are using just infantry for these purposes, and the main purpose of these tactics is to create a bridgehead and a foothold in the south in front of the settlements like Novoprokopovka and the settlement of Acheritovate. As soon as the Ukrainians are able to concentrate critical mass, they will start moving with the armored vehicles. Currently, it's unsafe to use tanks, armored vehicles among the fields because there are still mines, of course, and the Russians control the entire area, and they do have possibility to destroy every single armored vehicles that they see among the fields. Furthermore, the Ukrainians still haven't established the artillery superiority, and there are still a lot of things to do in this direction. During the previous days, they managed to destroy another Russian artillery system, and this is like an ongoing process. There's, as we can see, according to the geolocated videos, the Ukrainians have managed to bring their artillery systems closer to the combat line, and they're using not just the HIMARS missiles against the Russian cheap artillery systems. Now they're able to use also Krab systems, M777 howitzers as well. Also, we got another geolocated confirmation of the presence of the Ukrainians in the south of Rabotina. On this video, we can see how the Russians discovered the abandoned Ukrainian Bradley, and as a result of artillery strike, that Krasnopol strike, that Bradley was destroyed. The interesting fact is that this is not the new Bradley. This Bradley was destroyed probably on the 7th this Bradley was first mentioned and discovered on the 7th of September, and as a result of FPV drone he was damaged, and just this night this Bradley was completely destroyed as a result of artillery fire. Furthermore, the Ukrainians continue pressure in direction of Verbova. During the previous night, we haven't received any updates about any attempt from the Ukrainian side to attack in direction of the settlement. Currently, the Ukrainians also continue concentration of their infantry among the ex-Russian trenches. As soon as they're able to concentrate and collect the critical mass, of course, they will make another attempt to attack. But currently, they establish some kind of drone control over the settlement. We see that the Russians have some problems with electronic warfare equipment. The Ukrainians do have possibilities to fly above the settlement without problems, without any barriers, EV barriers, and as a result of these actions, of these operations, the Russians had a lot of losses in manpower and armored vehicles. But anyway, the situation yet is not critical for the Russians. Of course, they control the situation, they control the entire progress, the entire movements of the Ukrainians. So we'll see what this day is going to bring us. A lot of interesting updates are coming from South Donetsk direction. As you can see, there are a lot of icons in the vicinity of Novomayorsk. As you can see, I have updated the map because more and more Russian sources confirmed that as a result of fierce clashes, the Ukrainians managed to enter the northern part of the settlement. They managed to dig in deeper. Some Russian sources reported that the Russian forces launched some counter-offensive operation, and as a result of the Russians attacked this territory with TOS flamethrower systems, with artillery systems, and the Russians are saying that they managed to reduce everything till ruins and so on. But yet we haven't received even a single confirmation. The only confirmation we got is that Ukrainians were trying to make some rotation on the northeast positions of the settlement. They brought new forces, but after that the Russians they spent too much time for these purposes. The Russians discovered this armored vehicle and attacked this with the artillery system, and the Ukrainians had significant losses. Furthermore, another Ukrainian drone squad published very interesting series of interesting videos, how the Ukrainian equipment managed to shut down the Russian drones. So it's like electronic warfare equipment, and there was like a lot of videos. And we see that both sides, either the Russians and the Ukrainians, invest a lot of money in this type of equipment, because this might be a game changer, because we know that Ukrainians, the most powerful side of Ukrainian forces is, of course, our HIMARS missiles and, of course, FPV drones. And if the Russians are able to at least start shutting down every single drone by the electronic warfare equipment, of course, they could break the entire situation on the combat line and to make the Ukrainian situation even worse than it is. When talking about Mariinka and Novomikhailivka direction, I also have updated the map in the vicinity of Mariinka. Today we got more details, another video episode, very fresh one, how the Russian assault troopers were trying to storm the settlement. And on this video there was a geolocated Ukrainian machine gun position that located in this sector, and the Russians were moving along the streets, to be more precise, not even along the streets, but along the ruins in direction of these fortifications, with the purpose to capture. So at least this part of Mariinka is still under Ukrainian control, and as you can see, there is still a lot of job to do, because there are lots of streets, a lot of buildings left on the northwestern part of the settlement. The Russians continue bombing and attacking the Ukrainian positions in Novomikhailivka. This is another video in a row. In this area, another artillery system, but this is not the Russians destroyed not the artillery system, but the command center, command and observation post on the north of Novomikhailivka that Ukrainians were using to track and to follow the Russian soldiers on the north, in the vicinity of Pobeda, in the vicinity of the fields that located on the top, on the north of the settlement. Anyway, one more time, if we increase the number of updates, we see the Russian concentration in this area, not just in Novomikhailivka, Ugledar, and the settlements that located on the south of Korakhova. A complete superiority, but for some purposes the Russians yet haven't started even a single attempts to capture the settlement in this territory. Very interesting video we got from Avdiivka. There was a video of Ukrainian BMP who was attacking the Russian positions, and this is very interesting video, because if you take a look one more time at this area, you're gonna see that Ukrainian armored vehicle was located along the railways, and the Ukrainian armored vehicle was attacking not in direction of Donetsk, but for some reason this armored vehicle was attacking this direction. And I'm not sure that whether the Ukrainians, these type of armored vehicles like BMP have possibility to, let's say, attack the Russians somewhere in Kamyanka, because the distance is around 4 kilometers. It's too long distance. So what is the purpose of that attack? Why the Ukrainians were attacking in this direction? Probably the Ukrainians tried to attack maybe something like this, but what is the purpose of those attacks? I don't understand. So something interesting did happen in Avdiivka, and this video showing us that for some reason the Ukrainians were attacking inside of their own territory, but not against the possible Russian movement. I believe that today we're going to receive more updates regarding Avdiivka and regarding that situation with the Ukrainian armored vehicle. And as I understand, this is very interesting. Furthermore, more details are coming from the Black Sea. Today, the Russians reported that they need another 7-10 days and they will restore the access to the bridge and restore the road, the Crimean bridge, and people will be able to start using this connection road between Crimea and mainland. And also today we got another video of explosions and fire in the Ukrainian port in the south of Odessa, Kilia. As you can see, if you remember, during the previous 2 days the Russians were bombing this settlement heavily, and we see that the Russians have almost destroyed and reduced to ruins the entire Ukrainian port infrastructure, and the sources are saying that currently there are no more ships in the Black Sea who are heading in direction of Ukrainian ports for some grain or something like this with the trade purposes. And that's it for this morning video. Military Summary channel remind you that we condemns any violence in Ukraine. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye bye.